All right.
You know, this couldn't be good, don't you?
Something that you're working on. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing anything, doing that.
Oh, looks like we're doing the same thing.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with him. It's not that easy. Yeah, there's one for this car, then one I think.
Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay, council president needs one first.
Thank you.
Thank you. I put one up there for him. I don't, but.
Yes, ma'am.
And then just reply for an S. So B and B under community development, the flip. So B would be A, A would be B.
B will be A and A will be B.
Yeah.
Everyone has the summer employment. Yeah.
I'm definitely Kirk, did you?
Yes.
B will be A and A will be B.
Oh, okay.
That's what- So this summer youth employment, where should this go? I know this is going to the police, so
Yeah,
this will
I
have
think
to
probably the
do
employment would go under administration.
administration.
Yeah, and the police won't go under police department. You just have. After
11. Yeah, 11.
public works and then it should be 12.
I'm sorry, yeah, 12, you're right. Administration, this will be. Seven B. For this, the summer youth employment, 7B, so. Okay. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to regularly scheduled Highland Park City Council meeting scheduled for today, Monday, June 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. If you will be kind enough to call the roll for today's meeting, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Councilman Ashafi,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin,
Here.
Councilwoman Manica,
Here.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Present.
Council President Thomas.
Here, thank you very much. We have a quorum. The meeting can proceed. Next item would be the approval of today's agenda. We just received two walk-on items from the legal department, one relating to the summer youth employment resolution. The second would be the resolution to purchase two new police vehicles. Should these items be adopted, the resolution on summer employment will ideally go under item 7, becoming 7B under the administration, and the police department purchase of a vehicle will become item 12 after Public Works.
Yeah, I think you asked as if they can go on, get council president.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said, I get we're trying to put them somewhere, but did we?
No, sorry, it's at the pleasure of council. I was making a suggestion, but it's at the pleasure of council whether or not we adopt the agenda as it is or add these items. So city council, having received your packet and the current agenda, and also having received the suggested walk-on items, the chair will wait and entertain a motion on today.
Mr. President, where are we putting the vehicle?
That as the last item, that will be 12. And then the other recommendation was the rearrangement of the items under community development, where we would replace we would switch the items where item B will become A and A would become B. It's just moving them within the current.
Is there a reason why this resolution here says resolution to approve agreements between Detroit Wayne Integrative Health Network and the City of Highland Park Summer Youth Program? Is that two things or one thing?
Isn't that D-Wayne?
That sounds like one. It's a resolution to approve the agreement between Wayne Integrated Health and the City of Highland Park. It sounds like one thing.
Okay, hold a second. It says the Integrated Health Network and the City of Highland Park Summer Youth Program. That sounds like two items to me.
I think one group is paying for it and the other group is benefiting.
That's not what this amended budget is saying.
I guess that's something to be deliberated, but it seems pretty straightforward. If there are any other,
No, it's
so,
not straightforward, Council President.
Okay.
It's straightforward to you. I get it.
okay, so at this point now, right, now, I'm looking to entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Ms. Manica, would you please?
I will make the motion, but I just want to make sure where we're trying to place that. So it's placing summer youth under, making it number 7 or under number 7? Making it B,
7B.
right? Making it 7B under
ma'am.
administration.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the police vehicles, we're just gonna make 12 altogether at the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that being called?
It's under police, it's the resolution to approve the purchase of 2 new vehicles.
No, so it'd be called police? I mean.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
under the subheading. Police Department.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarity.
All right, I move to approve the agenda with adding 2 resolutions. The first resolution is resolution to approve agreement between Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network and the City of Highland Park Summer Youth Employment Program, making that 7B under administration. And the second resolution to approve the purchase of 2 new police vehicles from Gorno Ford for the police department, making that number 12 under police department. And then also, I'm sorry, were you saying something? Is that right? Okay. Then under community development, we're gonna flip A and B. So A now becomes B, which is resolution to approve the rezoning of vacated parcels adjacent to 13232 Woodward Avenue to transit oriental development. So that now becomes B. And then resolution to approve the vacation of portions of public alley adjacent to 13232 Woodward Avenue for DMC Property Management LLC, making that A.
Chair offers
I
a
know that
second.
was a lie.
Chair offers a second. We have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Manica to approve the agenda with the following amendments, adding under section 7, turning it to 7B, that is the resolution for the approval of the summer youth program, and adding, under item 9, the reversing of the order under community economic development, item B becoming A, as well as adding under item 12 for the police department, a resolution to approve the purchase of 2 new police cars. The chair offers a second. Questions, concerns?
Just about the youth one, Council President.
Mr.
Y'all
Ashafi, what's
said
your-
that it's one and the same. It looks like 2 items on this,
okay,
on this resolution. I just wanted to voice that opinion because when, Council Pro Tem did the same thing, with, her resolutions, they were summarily dismissed because she had more than one item on it, even though they were all tied together. Her resolutions were thrown out, but here we are breaking the rules again or bending the rules to add 2 items on one resolution when it's still 2 items. It's for the health network and it's for the youth program. And there's 2 items. I don't care what the argument is.
Ms. Manica, go ahead, please.
So I'm gonna go back to that one again, that resolution to approve an agreement between the two, that we would be approving that they could have an agreement between the two of them to provide our youth or provide the city with the funding to pay the youth for our summer program. So we're not approving them and then approving the youth. We're approving the actual agreement between the two of them to make that happen.
Point of order. I'm going to read the resolution. The resolution to approve the agreement between the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network and the City of Highland Park Summer Youth Program. Whereas the City of Highland Park has an interest in promoting the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, and whereas engaging the youth in the community is a positive activity during the summer months, and whereas the city has been awarded monies by Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network in the amount of $45,000 to fund a summer youth program to allow eligible participants to earn income during the summer while performing safe yet constructive employment activities, which are in the best interest of the youth and the community. Now, therefore, be it further resolved that the City of Highland Park approves the acceptance of $45,000 from the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network for the funding of the summer youth program. It reads as one thing, in my opinion. Madam Pro Tem, please.
So when you said money, is this cash, is it a grant, is it a gift?
This is the grant that we get every year.
Pardon?
It's the grant that we get every year. This is the exact resolution from last year, the same one. That's what my numbers change.
Okay.
So we have a motion on the floor for the approval of the budget with the amendment specified made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair. Madam Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll on the approval of the agenda?
Councilman Ashafi,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes,
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 4, approval of the proposed minutes. These are the in-person and virtual workshop minutes for June 2nd, as well as the in-person and virtual regular meeting minutes for June 2nd. Those items will be taken individually. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the in-person and virtual workshop meeting minutes for June 2nd, 2025.
Motion on the floor by Councilwoman Manica. The chair will offer a second. Questions, concerns? Roll call vote, would you please?
Councilman Ashafi,
This is for the workshop, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No, because we don't really have actual minutes, never have for the workshop. All we have is a piece of paper stating what we talked about. So I'm voting no.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Next, the in-person and virtual regular meeting scheduled for June 2nd. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the minutes for the in-person and virtual regular meeting, June 2nd, 2025.
Chair offers support. We have a motion on the floor for the approval of the in-person and virtual regular meeting scheduled held on June 2nd. Questions, concerns? Seeing none, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. We'll turn the floor over to Mayor McDonald so that she may address citizens and council.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council, council president, citizens of Highland Park. Glad to see you today. I have a few things. I'm gonna start with, questions that was asked about lights in Louise and Florence. Is Ms. Shanika here? So if you indulge me.
Ma'am, this is your time.
So there were some questions concerning the process of how lights will be transferred to the city, and what is the process that you had going with the lawyers as well as the engineers? And what is the process of transferring? We know that the city council has to approve donations once we do the transfer, right?
Yes.
And that is a donation, so if both of those will be coming to you before at the same time. Once, in order to transfer, there's a document that has to be completed and finished. And once that document is completed and finished, it will come before you, as well as acceptance of the donation. So that's part of it. Shamika's not here. She said she was on her way. She do have all of her stuff that was going back and forth. I appreciate you being here to stand in. Hopefully, when that happens, that should be on the agenda in July coming up, so that we can get those transferred over to the city and the city accept them. Then they become property of the city, at which time then we'll be able to move forward with that as far as those belonging to the city.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna talk about the cleanup that's coming on June 21st. If you are a resident of Highland Park, this Saturday, there will be a cleanup in the city. We are providing over 16, I just got a call today, maybe 2 more, 18 what do you call it, roll-offs, dumpsters in various areas throughout the city. That's the most we've ever had. So please take advantage of it. Let me tell you what's not to be placed in there. You cannot place tires. You cannot place, construction materials. You cannot place anything that has one of those ion batteries like computers or anything like that. And you also cannot place anything to do with painting, like paint containers, things like that. Nothing to that effect if you go in there. This would be a great opportunity for you to look in your backyard, look behind your house, because the overgrowth is real. And it's not that the city, they came through the alley. Our part is to come through the middle of the alley and clear it. I've been out for the last few days, driving by, looking at things, going up and down the street, and a lot of people have overgrowth off of their fence or off of their garage, which is part of your property. This is a good time to get that cut down and take it to the dumpster, because you can put those in it. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everybody, listen. If we can't have the overgrowth keep going on in the alleys and then asking the city to come cut down stuff. It's definitely the job of the homeowner if it's adjacent to your fence and adjacent to the back of your garage. So get with your neighbors, get with your street, say, hey, let's have an alley cleanup. We do come through the alley and do the middle, but the part that belongs to you is responsible. Now, let me tell you, there is an ordinance. And I know people are getting very tired about talking about ordinance, but the ordinance says you are responsible for that. And we're gonna give you at least 30 days to get that down before they start tipping. Because what happens is it draws a lot of rodents, it draws a lot of animals. I've seen somewhere where there was toilets stole through behind somebody's house, up against their fence, hiding in the bush. And that's not good. So please take pride in your property. If you're a renter, tell your landlord, listen, you need to get out here and cut this stuff down. Because we can get rid of the animals if we can get rid of the debris back there. Summer music series. We have a summer music series coming up at the rec center on every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 at the rec center. Right there on Midland Street, there's a stage, getting ready to start using that little stage that was donated to the city. And it's time that we start using it. So July 2nd is R&B, July 9th is jazz, July 16th is hip hop, July 23rd is house techno, there'll be DJs for that, and July 30th is gospel. So come on out, bring your lawn chairs, come sit down, enjoy the music. It's only 2 hours, 6 to 8. And if you do go to downtown to the Rica, you still got time to get down and see the main acts anyway. I want to talk about, I got a good report this week. We are in the best financial situation we've been in 25 years. Wow. That means we have money to blow now. We have been struggling, and my staff will tell you, we're not spending recklessly as people put out. And our audit was the best audit in a long time. So no, the financial situation here in Highland Park is improving. It's gonna keep improving as long as we keep doing what we need to do to grow our city. And what my staff needs to do is make sure that they stay within their budget guidelines. And so with that, that's all I got. That's good news. The more we grow, the more people we get to the city. All right, that's all I got.
Can I ask you a question there? Will the citizens be allowed to bring real to?
No, that's not a park. It's not a park.
All right. You know they have.
I understand. No, we would have to have the fire department and everybody out there sitting and watching.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. We're gonna move through to citizens' participation as it relates to the agenda. We have vehicle towing bid opening. We have a tabled item to approve this resolution. This is the revised comprehensive safety action plan and endorse Vision Zero. We have under the administration the summer youth program, a resolution to approve the proposed budget amendments for the fourth quarter of ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by Mayor McDonald. Item 8 under the city clerk, we have the approval of a fireworks license application for the Yellow Firebox LLC. Under community development, again, we have a resolution to approve the vacation of portions of the public alley adjacent to 13232 Woodward Avenue, and a resolution to approve the rezoning of the parcels at 13232 Woodward Avenue. Under engineering, against a resolution to issue a request for a quote for sinkhole and catch basin repairs. Public Works is a resolution to approve the contract for priority waste. And for under the police department, item 12, it is the resolution to purchase additional police cars. I will set my timer for 2 minutes. And if there are citizens who have comments that they wanted to make related to the items that we're going to vote on tonight on the agenda, I would encourage you to come forward so that you can be heard. Beautiful. I don't see anybody coming forward, so we'll just proceed with our agenda. I'm sorry. Okay, what happened to my, here we go. Give me just a second. Because I am ready to roll. Nope, going right ahead. We're moving into item 5 under bid opening. This is a vehicle towing, storage, and cleanup services. City Council, what is your pleasure as it relates to the bid opening? How should we proceed?
I move to have the bid opening for vehicle towing, storage and cleanup services. Support.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Manica, supported by Councilwoman Martin for the bid opening for vehicle towing, storage, and cleanup services to begin. Questions, concerns, dissent? Roll
Council
call.
President, can I speak on this?
We have to go ahead and get it on the floor.
Are
So
there any bids?
hold on a second. A motion to open the bidding. Go ahead and call the roll on that.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, to open the bids if there are any.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson, Council President Thomas.
Yes, we are now, the bid opening is on the floor. Chief, you had something you wanted to share with us?
Yes, I wanted to make council aware that during this process, we discovered some language in the RFQ that could potentially not be acceptable. So we canceled the bid and we are going to repost it, request to repost it.
Okay, so council, having heard that, what it appears is that we saw
Doesn't
something,
redo
we
it.
saw an I not dotted and a T not crossed, and we decided to go back to the drawing board. Is that accurate
Correct.
assessment? Okay, so it appears that we don't have any bids.
After all, then.
The bids were rejected. They were returned.
Mr. Burgess notified all of the vendors who participated that we will be reposting it in the near future after we get some clarity from legal.
Okay, thank you so much. Motion to close out item 5.
I want to make a motion to close out with item 5.
So
Second.
moved.
So we have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Martin, supported by Councilman Ashafi to close the discussion of bidding under item 5. Would you go ahead and take the roll on that?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, to close.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, moving on to item 6. This is a tabled item. Council, if you don't have this big book with you, this is the item that we tabled. This is the resolution to approve the revised comprehensive safety action plan and endorse Vision Zero. This is our third go around with this.
Move to approve the resolution.
We need to get it off the table.
Oh, I'm sorry. I move to remove resolution to approve the revised comprehensive safety action plan and endorse Vision Zero off the table.
Chair offers support. Would you go ahead and call the roll on removing, bringing this
What was
item
the
back from the
motion
table?
again? I'm sorry.
This is the motion to bring this item back from the table.
Okay, okay.
So the motion was made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair to bring this tabled item back to the floor. Would you go ahead and call the roll on that, please?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, to bring back from the table.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson, Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much. So now this item is out for discussion. So City Council, what is your pleasure? This is the resolution from the last time we were here. A resolution to approve the revised comprehensive safety action plan and to endorse Vision Zero for the city of Highland Park to strive to achieve zero traffic death and incapacitating injuries on the streets of Highland Park by the year 2024. Now, this document has come to us before. This is the latest improvement. These are the
2040.
2040, I'm sorry. This document was received by City Council last September. Changes were required by this City Council and given to the Water Department and MCA. They went and made those revised changes and added them to the document. They gave this to us at our last meeting and asked that we review it and consider approval. The item was tabled because members felt that they needed additional time to review the document. At this time, it is out on the floor. It becomes item 6. So the chair will entertain a motion on the resolution to approve the revised comprehensive safety action plan.
I move to approve the revised comprehensive safety action plan and endorse Vision Zero.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor made by Councilwoman Manica for the approval of the resolution, supported by Councilwoman Martin. Questions, concerns, or dissent?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go right ahead, sir.
Is there a reason why we have to endorse Vision Zero? What's with the endorsement?
If it's my understanding that the endorsement is just saying that we support it. I mean, if we just take the language as it's written. The word.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, Anytime that we take something that's written, there's always something that's not written that's done afterwards.
I can only go to Webster and ask them what the word endorse actually means.
I'm just curious.
Okay,
I know what endorsement means. I'm just
Sure.
curious as to why we have to endorse them.
I think that is a normal practice for a municipal nonprofit or a city. I think it's a common practice in every city that is adjacent to Highland Park to use that language.
And what are they getting out of this and what this is gonna cost us?
As I stated earlier, sir, this document was brought to us.
I understand that. I'm
Last
just asking a
September.
question, Council President.
Okay,
I'm just asking an honest question.
so the answers to your
It's gotta be
questions, sir, are
something that they
contained
did not-
within. The answers to your questions are contained within this document.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't find in these documents. I didn't find exactly what they were getting out of this. I
They
didn't
are,
find what they were getting out of it
they is
and what it
us.
might cost us.
No, sir, the they in this question is us.
Yeah. That's
This
not what
is our
says.
document. This is the City of Highland Park document. I see your hand, Madam Pro Tem, your hand went up first, and Ms. Manica after that. But Mr. Question, Mr. El-Shafi, this is a document for us, by us. It was created by, it is created for the benefit of the city. It says and I'm gonna get to Madam Pro Tem. The document says, this is a comprehensive safety plan. That's what this is. So as far as who's get something out of it, the citizens of the city of Highland Park, it says right on the document, it says contained herein, it's filled with diagrams and data. It is a safety action plan.
Okay, so I appreciate that part of the conversation. It was.
Okay, Madam Pro Tem, you had your
rather
hand up?
No, as I said, I read over this document and I do have some questions and concerns about it. And I'm glad I tabled it, so I have a little bit more time to read it. My question is when they made these changes, how come they didn't come back to a workshop to present it to us instead of presenting it to us for us to vote on that day?
We received this document in
I
September.
understand it, but they revised.
We had a subsequent workshop between the end of October and November. This document came to us last year.
Point of information.
Yes, ma'am.
Point of
All I'm
information.
ahead.
saying-
Can
all
Damon
I'm
come?
simply saying, and I know you understand me on this, they changed things in this document.
That we told them to
They made
change,
Upgrades, they made improvements.
that we told them to make.
When they first did this document, they brought it to us in a workshop. And they went over it thoroughly with us. We understood everything. Now changes have been made. I'm curious why wasn't it brought back in the workshop to explain to us those changes? Because there's some things in here in which I have some questions on.
Okay,
Point of information.
Go
Can
ahead.
engineers come forth or someone and talk about and answer his questions, please?
and before we move any further, Madam Pro Tem, you had your hand up.
I just wanted to make sure and to get some clarity that through this endorsement and revised comprehensive safety action plan had something to do with the installation of solar lighting. Yes, then, yes, that was good.
Is there anyone that can come and answer any of these questions, please?
Yeah, I seriously doubt that we're gonna get our questions answered. They usually go unanswered anyway. So why don't we just get to the vote of it? Because they usually go unanswered anyway.
Mr. Garrett, can I ask you a question, sir?
Absolutely.
Do you recall what month you brought this to us?
September 3rd, 2024.
Thank you very much. And after that September 3rd meeting, you got a litany of requests made for modifications in this document, correct?
We took comments at that council. We also took comments from a public survey that was done in April of in 25.
So you took all of the recommendations that were imposed upon you by council and you did your due diligence and you came back to the public in April in this chamber and to get public input, and you got exponentially more responses this time than we received in the last time.
9 the first time, 52 this time.
Okay, okay. And at that time, you took the information that you received from our requests and the feedback from the public, and you took that data and you inserted it into this revised document.
That is correct. The revised document dated May 23rd that was tabled is not substantially different than the document from 8 months ago.
Okay, and it was, I'm assuming that it was incumbent upon us as members of city council who made the demands for change to keep a tab on what changes we asked for. That's just so that,
Who got that tab?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I were to make a request
Sure as shit
that,
wasn't given to us.
that you were to add something, if I was adamant about the addition of something in this meeting and I took note of it, I would assume that I will be the keeper of that data, correct? If I ask you to change it from a 9 to a 10, I will be the person that would be.
So point of information again.
Yes.
So, Mr. Damon, could you please give us an example or state something that you changed for me, please, in the document?
That would work. If you would list the revisions and what page you found them on, this is what it is.
So I don't have an itemized list of all the revisions, but some of the things that were a problem here or concerned here was some of the offset intersections that we have throughout the city, mainly on the north side. That was a concern. Lack of proper signage and speeding was a concern. I think those were some of the major concerns. It was traffic calming, so a lot of ripping and running. There was some concern about maybe some streets getting converted to cul-de-sacs in this kind to try to calm the traffic. But really it was these offset streets and it was improper signage all throughout the city and missing signs. That was the feedback that we received during before we came back and got tabled. So we took those comments and incorporated them into the revised report along with what the citizens said. And that's what you have here. And if you go to pages 40 and 41, that was what the public felt what was important about the existing traffic issues in the city. And then on the following page was what the citizens thought about what should be changed. And you can see 80% of the public said the roads were poorly maintained. 87%. Lack of sidewalks and crosswalks was 58%, and lack of lighting was 87%. That's different than what was in September, but that was a result of the additional citizens' participation. On the, Councilwoman Martin brought this up. She asked about this table 41 at the last meeting, which was what the public felt about what needed to be improved. The number one item on that they viewed as very important was more street lighting, 87%. Number two was improve road signs and striping at 77%. More education and community gatherings regarding public safety, that was 63%. And intersections and roundabout traffic circles was 31%. So that's in a nutshell what the residents said about what needs to be done in Highland Park. And what I said prior to that was what the council said needed to be done.
Last but not least, Ms. Robinson or Council Pro Tem Robinson asked about the lights and any connection between Solidarity. I think, was that what you asked, Mr. Robinson?
She did.
Okay.
That
Would you please
lighting was
respond to
not,
that?
this was all about the public roads and safety. So lighting, Solidarity was not a part of this grant work at all.
Not, and then it's 87%.
No, that was 87% of what the people felt
Was the need.
a need, but Solidarity and that did not enter into this. This was focused on fatalities at intersections, signage, pavement markings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Can we get this? Okay, thank you so much. So we're gonna have we'll go for a roll call on this item.
Councilman Ashafi,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Okay. This man needs to step away for a second. Moving on to item 7 under the administration. Item 7 is a resolution to approve the proposed budget amendment for the fourth quarter ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by Mayor McDonald. Chair will entertain a motion for a 5-minute recess while we wait on this manager to return.
Sir. Council President, Youth Summer Program grant higher than budget.
I'm
See
sorry.
reverse. So there's an increase of $6,000 for the youth summer program. Are we paying for it, or is the resolution that we just approved paying for it?
Resolution that we approved, the funding has always been provided to us. They are the third-party payer.
Okay,
of the young
so
people.
why is there amended budget for $6,000 for the youth summer program then?
I guess we can get into that discussion once we get into, so right now, the chair would entertain a motion on item 7 of the administration. That's a resolution to approve the proposed budget amendment for the fourth quarter ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by Mayor McDonald. These are changes in the budget, so City Council, you have this information in front of you for item 7A. What's your pleasure?
Thank you, Mike.
I'm sorry, but this is under administration, item 7A. This is a resolution to approve the proposed budget amendment for the fourth quarter ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by Mayor McDonald. City Council, what's your pleasure on this item? 7A.
I move to approve the resolution for the proposed budget amendment for the fourth quarter ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by Mayor McDonald.
Chair offers support. Questions, concern, dissent?
Yeah, I have some
What are
questions.
they correct?
Go ahead, Ms. Martin.
Yeah, the first question I have, this is a letter. Is this a letter from Charles Ellen? The breakdown? Is that what this is? Is that what I'm reading?
That's what it looks like to me.
So it's talking about a decrease in spending. We're at 35,000 decrease, but we're in an increase in revenue, 164,000. And then a fund balance of 200,000. My thing is, these numbers look good. My question is, 2 questions. One, can we get when a budget is presented, can we get a breakdown of this
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
all the time? Can we see something like this?
We've asked that question for years. For 2.5 years now, to be exact.
That's my first question. And then my second question, I remember when we got that audit, didn't they say that it was like didn't they say there was like a 12 million sitting in the savings account?
That was a
20.
pension fund.
That was the
Pension fund.
Pension fund, which we don't want to touch.
Oh, pension. Oh, that was a
Yeah,
pension fund.
Yeah, that's pension fund.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's 20 million.
No more further questions, Mr. President.
Thank you, ma'am. Additional questions?
Yeah, I want to go back here. So you have an amended budget for the youth summer program in the amount of $6,000. So why do we need that amended budget if the resolution we just passed is going to pay for the summer youth program?
Let me read this out loud for the general fund. Summer youth grant expenditures are up $6,000. The expenditures are up. So we received $45,000 from Wayne Integrated Health. They provide that to us every year. And it says right here, it's the second item, summer youth grant expenditures are up
So this is money that
$6,000.
we're accepting then is what you're telling me?
Yes,
Okay. This is money we're accepting.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor.
And it says both revenue expenditures,
Okay, I
our
got it, Council
expenses
President.
will be fully
I got it,
reimbursed.
Council President.
Okay,
I got it. Thank you.
okay. Madam Deputy Clerk, would you please call, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, Madam Pro Tem. Go right ahead. This is
The
for,
building department fund, it says building department revenue significantly exceeded budget by $235,000. Might want to speak on that.
So that puts us in a hole from the fund balance of $200,000. We're in a hole by $35,000.
That's money, we have money. Our budget is way under that budget. Total expenditure budget. Which is we have money. We just have to move money to that department.
The legal was over by $200,000. Is that correct?
We have a balance of over $200,000, but we also have to, this, what happens with this?
Okay, so the letter here, Madam Mayor, I don't mean to cut you off. The letter here that Ms. Eleanor gave said that the legal department exceeded their budget by $200,000. They are over their budget by $200,000. Yes, ma'am?
That's because we do not budget for settlement.
Okay,
So we add settlements to it.
okay. Yeah. I saw that. It said the settlements were 140, which netted us $60,000.
You don't put settlement in the budget. So that's what we have.
Is that because of the insurance?
we don't know what the settlement's gonna be.
It's because, you don't budget for settlement. Because whoever's suing us is gonna look at our budget and go, well, they got $1 million in their settlement. We'll just have $999,000. So we don't know what they are until council approves it. And then we add them.
Workers' compensation, is that accurate at $30,000? Is that gonna be enough?
Workers' compensation is a revolving insurance.
Okay.
And so that's one of our, the city's required to have workers' compensation. And we don't know what that's gonna be either, if somebody gets hurt.
Okay. Building stormwater. Is that $40,000? Is that a loss or what is that?
We budget for the stormwater, all the municipal property,
Okay.
about a couple $100,000.
Okay. And in this letter, it said also that tech support has exceeded their budget as well too. But I understand, I get that part because we did have a server that crashed, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Server that crashed.
Yeah, that I remember that. I remember that everything was down. Yeah,
That's right, we spent $100,000 to go to the cloud.
right. Okay. All right.
All right, roll call, would you please?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I said yes. I'm
Okay.
sure you heard me.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No,
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on under administration to item 7B, that is the resolution. Make sure I read this correctly. That is a resolution to approve the agreement between Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network and the City of Highland Park Summer Youth Employment Program. City Council, what's your pleasure?
So moved.
Go ahead. Hold on, we didn't get a motion on the floor. Ms.
Second.
Manica? Ms. Manica, did you make that motion?
Yes,
No.
I did.
And then Mr. Ashafi, you offered a second?
Actually, the approach tip approved with questions.
I'm sorry, then
And
we'll
I
go
second.
back. Madam Pro Tem?
yes.
Did you,
So how many,
are you making, wait, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
point of information or point of order?
She made it and I
Are you
said,
making the motion, Madam Pro Tem?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
how many youth are we looking to hire this year? 20 again or more?
20.
20, thank you.
Would you take the roll on this one, please, ma'am?
Councilman Ashafi,
yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much. Moving on to item 8 under the city clerk, that is the approval of the fireworks license application from Yellow Box Fireworks LLC.
I approve the question.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve made by Council Pro Tem Robinson, seconded by Councilman Shafi. Mr. Shafi, Madam Pro Tem, you had questions?
Yes, it says application for fireworks license issued from June the 16th through July the 7th. So that's when you sell it. And your last day of selling is July the 7th.
No, we won't sell after July 5th. I don't know necessarily why that's in there, whether or not it's your requirements, but we're set to stand up sometime around the 16th, and then we're closed down on July 5th, clean up the parking lot and do what we've been doing for the last almost 15 years.
I have a question for you, sir. I think you were here last year and I asked you to then, and I'll ask you again, would you please provide signage in the form of instructions as to what is not recommended? Every year in the city of Highland Park, a house burns down because of fireworks. Every year. And I'm not saying that you're taking a match to that house, but the reckless person who is, for all intents and purposes, just trying to have a good time is burning a house down. I've been here 25 years. There's been more than 25 houses that have burned down in this city due to fireworks. And I think it's unnecessary. So as the vendor providing these pyrotechnics to the locals, you do understand that some young people may get their hands on the fireworks and they might not be the most responsible people in the world. I would encourage you, and I would say that it was incumbent upon you as a distributor of these products to make sure that you go the extra mile to ensure that no one loses their home or suffers serious injury as a result of fireworks. I would appreciate if you would do that.
I have one
Yes.
more question.
Go right ahead, Madam Pro Tem.
So, what's the age limit that you're selling, please?
You must be 18 years old to buy fireworks. Council President, thank you for your
Yeah.
comment. We talked about that at the last meeting. We put up a very large poster on the side of the container telling people how to dispose of fireworks.
Mhm.
And we also put up a sign that people should be respectful of their neighbors and pick up their garbage. We will hand out flyers. So when someone goes to the cash register to buy their product, we will give them a flyer stating how to dispose of their fireworks to make sure they use them safely to avoid any bad situations. And so any suggestion that, again, council wishes to make, we will work with you and make sure it's done. And again, we're going to hand out flyers. We have a big poster on the side of the container telling people how to dispose of product and also to pick up their garbage when they're done with it.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Go right ahead. You done? Additional concerns, questions?
No.
For a roll call, we'll take a roll call on item 8. Approval of fireworks license application to Yellow Box Fireworks LLC made by Madam Pro Tem, supported by Councilman Ashafi. Would you please?
Councilman Ashafi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica?
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson?
Yes.
Council President Thomas?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 9 of the community development. 9A is a resolution to approve the vacation of a portion of the public alley adjacent to 13232 Woodward Avenue for DMC Property Management LLC. City Council, what's your pleasure on this item?
Approval with questions.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor made by Councilman El Shafi to approve this resolution with questions supported by Councilwoman Manica. If you don't mind, before we start here, B will be A and A will be B. This is the resolution to approve the vacation of a portion of the public alley. So, Mr.
Smith.
No, Mr. Lackey, we got me on for screen share.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we are talking about,
And in fact, Council President, you use regrid, correct? You're familiar with regrid?
Yeah.
I can probably demonstrate a little better if you pull up regrid.
And I don't mean no harm, but I just see the proposal here. I don't see a resolution attached to these. Or is it just mine? It's like that. Y'all got a resolution in front of y'all? Is that the same thing?
This sounds shocking.
You
You
don't
are
have a
correct.
resolution. It's the second page.
Second page.
Yep.
It should have been on, then why is it on the second page and not on the front? Okay.
Uh,
Anyway. Let's solve that. There we go. Problem solved.
Okay, so we're moving in here.
Table, please.
So I'm here on regrid. All right, let's go, sir.
All right, thank you. Good evening,
Would you do
council.
me, yeah, would you do me a favor and introduce yourself?
Yes, Donovan Smith, a principal planner with McKinnon Associates and the planning manager for Highland Parks Planning Department.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you do have before your resolution regarding the applicant DMC Group and the Highland Room located at 13232 Woodward. So the vacation they're requesting is of the alley. If you could highlight it, does a dog leg. Currently, half that alley is vacated today. What the applicant is requesting to vacate the remaining portion of the alley. So it's just that area just north of your cursor. So if you go up, yep, from that corner, continuing north to that corner. Yep, so that space in between is about 10 feet wide, maybe about 40 feet long. It used to be a former alley. As you can see, half of it is already vacated. That was likely vacated when that property went through its site planning process to put the initial parking lot at that parcel. They are requesting to vacate the rest of that alley so then they could consolidate it with the rest of their property, and then they can close off that back portion of that alley with a fence to stop individuals from traversing into that parking lot and to provide more security for the visitors that park there.
Okay, so just for the sake of, I have to do it all the time. Let me make sure I heard what you're saying.
Yes.
So as I look at this image here, as I highlight this image, I'll pull it up even closer. A portion of this alley has already been vacated. For those not familiar with regrid, if I put my cursor over a particular block, it shows what is the prospective boundaries of that property. As I move from the owner's property into his adjacent property, you'll see that that next block lights up blue as well. The section that we're referring to is this gap that's in here.
Correct.
That doesn't light up at all. And it is adjacent to both of his pieces of property. In fact, it's sandwiched in between his two pieces of property.
Yes.
And that this is in the right of way owned by the city of Highland Park. So we will be vacating or releasing this small driveway sized piece of land and vacating that alley so that it could be added to the parcels that are listed.
That is correct.
Okay. City Council, you have questions on this? Yes, ma'am.
What did you say the reason was for?
The applicant has indicated they get a lot of traffic that comes from the alley, the pedestrian traffic. So they walk through that alley and they can get into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's a public alley. Yes. Yes. So they want to close that piece off so they won't have
I
traffic.
just want to make a statement, because for years, the Ohana Garden folks was trying to get an alley vacated.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let everybody know that I'm not gonna approve this because they couldn't get approved. So that's all I got to say about it.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Excuse me, going through the alley, will the garbage or how garbage gonna be picked up for the why?
So that portion of the alley would stay open to the public. So currently I don't believe they drive through, and the applicant can clarify if they continue through the alley. I don't think they do, because that would be the applicant's property that they would drive through. So the way the way trash would access the alley today would continue as it's currently used.
As it's currently.
Yes, nothing
So
would change.
Nothing's gonna change other than the fact that they're just gonna own that little piece.
Yes, and the city won't be responsible for that piece of land.
Okay, but we can still go through it. And the
Yes.
trash will be still able to be picked up
Yes,
as normal.
yes. You just would not be
Because
able
they
to.
already own that first part from Bisford to where he pointed at.
Correct. So
Right.
this entrance here, you would not be able to make a right and go straight because they plan on closing that off.
So
But
they're
coming
gonna
from
close
the
it off.
other side, I apologize, I don't know that street name, but coming from the
Winona.
other street, Winona, yes, they'll be able to make that left, and then if they wanted to make a right down the alley, they could. That would remain open.
And this is the piece of land that we're talking about here.
Yes,
I guess I got lost.
No,
I
this
want to
is,
know if they could come all the way through the priority or whoever our dumpster company will be. They'll be able to come from Winona all the way through Bismarck.
no, they
So how do
can't,
they come down?
they shouldn't be able to go through Bidsford now, because that's all that's private. I'm sorry, the alley adjacent to Beresford is currently private property.
I get that. So I'm asking though, how does the garbage get picked up right now?
I'm not exactly.
In the parking lots.
I got a question. So, okay, so my first question, I know they're open at night. Are they ever open during the day?
The Highland room, that would be, I would assume so, but they would have to answer that question.
Are they here to answer?
Is who open at night?
They are here, yes.
These are old pictures, Council President.
they're very robust. They're very robust. The
Do they
pictures,
rent during the day?
These
Because
are old pictures.
that
These are
area
like
is
this.
very congested on Beresford. I mean, when that parking lot gets full, everybody's parking across the street at the gas station.
So
hold on a second. So these pictures are a great illustration of the reason why those improvements that have been made have been so significant. I can imagine for the residents that are in this area. What we see here is derelict vehicles, people working in their cars. If I go up and down the street, we see people. I mean, it's almost as if you couldn't ask for a more nutrient-rich environment in the Google map. You have people that are loitering on the property as it is right now. And this will be very informative to me if in the past I had attempted to take a similar action and I was unsuccessful. This will be very informative for me. This would be a great opportunity for me to plug into what I'm hearing so that as to Ms. Robinson's point, we said no in the past to something like this. And so considering if we go back here to land grid, we're talking about a piece of land that is adjacent to now priority can get all the way down here and they can get all the way in the back of this property.
That's all.
If priority typically picks up the trash from the front, Highland Park is unique in that way. But what we're talking about is a strip of land that they don't own, that doesn't light up, that they want to close their property off at. And so in my opinion, it's been illustrated exceptionally well. Madam Pro Tem, I see your hand has been up. I don't want you to continue to wait. Go ahead, ma'am.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth whereas. No, resolution coming?
no, it's not, I'll look at it if you want Yeah.
Okay, I'll read.
to. Okay.
The purpose vacation will be consistent with the adjacent TOD zoning and is required to support the applicant's development goals. Can you explain that?
The rezoning is the second partial resolution that's included in your packet. When you vacate parcels currently on your zoning map, that alley does not have a zoning designation. So once we vacate it and it becomes a private parcel, we have to assign a zoning classification to it. That is the TOD district, which is also the adjacent district around those parcels.
Can you explain?
The TOD district, the transit oriented development district is the mixed use district along the Woodward corridor. And it is the current district for the Highland room for that parcel. So what we're asking is to rezone the vacated portion that currently does not have a zoning classification and to assign it the zoning classification that is adjacent to. So I see him pulling the map up
This
there.
is the zoning map for those people who are in the audience who are wondering.
Yep, and if you zoom into right where your mouse is, yep, right there.
So the master plan was, the last master plan was submitted in 2018. I think I have that master plan and the proposed for 22.
18, 19, this is the 2010 map.
And so the transit-oriented development designation has been around for a very long time, and everything off Woodward Avenue that was related to high-speed rail or monorail or whatever the train was that was proposed as part of the Detroit 2020 plan was the impetus for adding TOD. This is Planning Commission back in 2014 or 15 when I was sitting on the Planning Commission. So these are not, none of these things are changes. This is the existing zoning map. Everybody can access this zoning ordinance and the zoning map on the city's website. But if you look up and down Woodward Avenue, all of the purple that you see on the screen, as well as the area where the apartments are, Manchester Place, that is all oriented, that is transit-oriented development. The blue is our downtown. So this designation goes all the way through the city of Highland Park. In fact, Detroit Future Cities did a whole subsection on Highland Park for this follow through. So this has been around for almost 20 years. This has been a part baked in the cake. Madam Pro Tem, I'll see you out. Well,
So
Ms.
it's
Martin.
already TOD, why are you trying to rezone it to TOD?
No, ma'am, when it's,
I'm
when
talking
it's,
about-
okay. I mean, I used to be the chairman of the zoning board, so I think I can answer that question.
talking about-
Go ahead, ma'am. Get this
Thank you,
later.
through the chair. If you could just zoom into that alley, it's
Sure.
probably just easier to show the diagram.
What was the
And
question?
the reason why we are rezoning to TOD for this particular piece of land. So that alley, just above the W in Winona, it's that white space. The zoning district, that purple district to the left, doesn't carry over to the alley that we are vacating. So we're taking a piece of land that doesn't have a zoning classification, and then we're assigning that adjacent district, so it will be consistent.
Ms. Martin, you had a question?
Yeah. How are they closing, how are they gonna close off the alley?
Fence.
So they're going to move the fence that's already been
Either
installed?
move or construct. I'm just not exactly sure what's there today. But they'll pull an application for a fence, and then because they will own that land, they can install a fence between or along that rear property line.
So it's gonna be, the fence is gonna be along the
Yes.
Highland.
The back of the property towards the building. So if just along the current alley,
Okay.
parallel to Beresford.
I think this might help illustrate it.
Yeah, so from the corner, I believe the corner of that building to where I believe keep turning to the right. Right, yeah. So somewhere in that area, and this is a different application, so I apologize if I don't have the exact location, but it'd be from the back of that building to the right of the screen, to along that rear property line. That will be the extent of their property and where they can apply for a fence.
Okay, Ms. Monica?
So just so that we're all clear, when you say that building being the Highland building.
Correct.
So the parking lot, though, the fence goes, it's way down here by that pole. Am I correct?
And again, I apologize. That's a different application, and I don't have, that application is all pending if the vacation goes through. So I just don't have the exact location of where that fencing would be.
No, I'm not talking about where they, well, I am talking about where they're gonna put the fence. So go back to that, the other screen where we're showing the little space.
Yeah.
Is what we're gonna
Regrid.
vacate.
Regrid.
Because, so
So right.
is that right? So here it shows differently,
Right.
but you see, that's their fence, though, back, go down south, go south. To the end of the blue square, go south, come back toward Woodward. All along there, see where that fence is?
Yeah.
That's right behind the Y. They're
It
not
would-
gonna be able to,
No.
I know we're not worried about, so it has, to say, so he's just gonna add a fence, go to the corner, Mr.
Yeah.
Thomas,
Up here?
right, yep, no, the other square,
No, the vacated
right
corner.
there.
Yes.
So
from there.
that's, it goes straight across to his fence. That's where he's going, if it gets approved, he would put a fence right there,
Just across the gap.
just across that.
Basically here.
I don't know how, I know Mr. Donovan asked about maybe, yep, there you go, thank you.
Yep.
See where you
right
put
there.
the green, so that
I don't
little
get paid
box,
extra for doing tech.
that
All
little
of this,
box.
all of this that I'm doing today,
That
this is
little
all,
box is what he's going to, he's asked to vacate because they already own the other piece. Now, here's my question, and I just want us to be very, very diligent and clear that he owns that other part, that we do not own the alley on that end.
The area of the alley that is within his property line, Council President, if you could just highlight the Highland Room parcel,
Come on here.
No, the whole Highland.
the whole Highland Room parcel.
Okay, excuse me, let me just get this annotation on. Yep,
So all of the alley that is currently within that parcel outline, he currently owns.
Does currently own.
Yes, that is within his property limits. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that whole thing? Little Caesars,
Yep.
the nail place, the smoke place?
Yeah, he owns that whole thing.
Yeah,
but-
that's all
Yep.
one parcel and one building, but the alley is the portion.
So do you have the plan before you to change that space? That space is so negative.
What are you? So right now, we just want to know, we're gonna give him that little piece.
Got it. I'm just wondering if,
Because
because I
the
see
next
there's
thing is
plans
getting
to
ready to
change
come
the
up.
inside.
So he already owns the other part. He just wants to get that little, think it's 10 feet by 40 feet. Am I correct? Somewhere in
Something
there.
around, yeah.
So,
Okay.
but it's on there.
And
So
we-
that's where we at right now, Ms. Martin. Then we're gonna go to, he has something
And he-
else on the
and he owns
table.
it- he owns more than that.
Yeah, they own the whole, the whole meeting.
It goes further.
Yeah.
okay, so we are on item 9A, resolution to approve the vacation of a portion of the public alley adjacent to 13232 Woolward Avenue for DMC property management. Motion was made by Councilman Ashafi, supported by Councilwoman Manica. Would you take the roll on item 9A?
Councilman Ashafi,
Council President, I got a question before we vote on this. I've been waiting patiently.
Excuse
Everybody
me.
else to talk. Did this go through zoning?
Yes, this did go through planning commission. We had a public hearing regarding the rezoning and the
What date
vacation
was that
on
you had your public
April
hearing?
9th. I believe it's the second Wednesday. We had 1, 2, 3, I believe 4 public hearings that day. 3 of them related to this item.
Okay, Madam Deputy Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
No,
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, under community development, item 9B, the resolution to approve the rezoning of the vacated parcel adjacent to 13232 Woolward Avenue to transit-oriented development. City Council, what is your pleasure?
Okay, so which property is this?
It's the same thing.
one.
This is the same vacated area.
So right now, it's
With the
just blank.
alley?
Yes,
Yes.
that same
Right now,
portion.
it's just
Twice,
blank.
I thought we just approved it.
So the previous motion was to vacate the alley, which is to turn it from a right-of-way parcel to a private parcel. Now that that parcel has been vacated, we have to assign it a zoning classification.
Has
That
to
is
have
what
a-
this motion is for.
Yeah. And before, Mr. Shafi, well, based on the zoning board, every square inch of the city has a zoning. If it's municipally owned, it's municipally owned, but every square inch of the city has zoning. Every single square inch of the entire city is zoned for something.
So we're still waiting on a motion, correct?
Yep, still waiting on a
I
motion.
move to approve the rezoning of the vacated parcel that we just approved.
Chair offers a second.
Just to explain, Mr. Smith, briefly explain the rezoning, please.
Yes, so the rezoning process is a two-step process. It starts with the planning commission where we hold a public hearing. The planning commission then provides a recommendation to city council regarding their opinion regarding that rezoning. The planning commission on the April 9th, second Wednesday, if I'm getting that date right, in April, they did vote to recommend to city council to recommend approval for that rezoning, assigning the TOD district to that
See you,
vacated
Ms.
parcel.
Mar- I see you, Madam Pro Tem.
So that rezoning is now what, or would be, if it's approved, what would it be rezoned to?
It will be rezoned to the TOD district, the Transit Oriented Development District, consistent with the adjacent parcel.
Yep, okay, parcel right next door. Madam Pro Tem, I see your hand. Ms. Mack, I'm sorry, we finished?
Yes, I just know that's a little bit, a lot there, because even though, it's because TOD is this, I don't want to say the city, but it's all over in the city.
Yes,
and the LLC just happens to be in that particular area, correct?
I'm sorry, you
It
said,
happens to be in that TOD area,
yes, or adjacent to,
or
yes.
adjacent to.
Yeah, because it's currently not in an area, so yes.
Yes, okay, I'm done.
Okay, Madam Pro Tem?
Your fourth whereas, how does this align with the master plan?
It is consistent with aligning the district with the adjacent districts. So because the adjacent district is a TOD district, it would be in alignment to assign this district also the TOD, so it will be consistent. It won't receive a development use because it's just that portion of the alley that will ultimately be used for parking. So it doesn't have a lot of development potential, but it will be consistent with the surrounding zoning districts.
So if they approve this resolution, it will become a part of the bigger part. So it's already a development.
Yes, it'll be a part of the larger development, yes.
Okay, we'll take a roll call vote on item 9B. That's a resolution to approve the rezoning of the vacated parcels adjacent to 132.
I'm sorry. I know. Don't get me, Mr. Thomas. It's not a question. I just want to make a statement. So, Ms. Martin, I think you asked earlier about, you know, because that's a weird kind of complex area. So if, say, for instance, they did decide to redevelop that and make it something different, it would be difficult right there because that one little piece would be offset.
That is correct.
You get what I'm saying?
So, and if I could,
Okay, yeah, please, thank you.
alternative scenario, that property is demolished, it's a blank site, and a new development is supposed to take place. If they want to extend or utilize that portion, they would not be able to because it is a public right of way. It is not a private piece of land. So in order to make the site cohesive and consistent, that's why they're requesting that vacation. So it'd be one full site without the kind of dog leg gap between the two parcels.
Right, and when I asked the question, when we were on, was that A, B? What is the future plan? You said,
It's going to continue operating as the Highland Room. Yeah, so there's not a new development proposed. This really just brings the site into,
okay, so they're only making changes on the inside.
yes, no exterior changes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take a roll call vote on item 9B, resolution to approve the rezoning of the vacated parcel adjacent to 13232 Woodward Avenue to transfer-oriented development. Would you go ahead and take the roll on that, please?
Councilman Ashafi,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No,
Council President Thomas.
Yes, and before we move on any further, so what we did is we just chopped a branch off that we were standing on. So we vacated the alley. Okay, now I'm
Yes.
talking to you now as a former planning commissioner and the chairman of the zoning board. What we did is we vacated the alley,
Yes,
okay? And then we took this piece of land that the alley was vacated in, and we just made it disappear out of our zoning map. It has to be zoned something. It has to be zoned something. And what we just did, for whatever reason, I don't exactly know what the reason is, but we just took that piece of land and popped it into oblivion. I'm gonna pull this up.
if I could clarify.
Hold on just a second. Yep, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. This map right here is the entire city of Highland Park.
I can't hear. Please stop.
Every square inch of this city is zoned for something. It has to have a label. So here we are with our expert planners, and they've taken us through the process to say that this section of property, this piece of property behind the building is owned by the city. We don't want it. We're not going to maintain it. It's adjacent to this person's property. They want to take possession of it and fence it in and provide a secure environment. And in order for them to lawfully do so on their existing property, which is zoned transit-oriented development, which is the entire area, everything from the alley to Woodward is zoned transit-oriented development in this area. Just like when you get down to where the townhouses are, that's multifamily, that's a RUV. So it's zoned so that the area can be what it is. That's why we can have all of those townhouses and apartment buildings, all of that adjacent to each other. It has to be zoned that way. So what we just did by voting no on that is we vacated the alley and then we just took this piece of land and just basically threw it over our shoulder. It's not zoned for anything now.
So is this a little,
I'm sorry?
a little arm twisting we doing right here?
No, you
Or
wasn't.
can we move on to the rest of the agenda?
Did you say no reason? Oh, okay.
Are
Yeah,
we
you
twisting arms?
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure that so as we move forward with this, in order for, let's say, for example, there was
Move on
another
to the rest of
parcel
the
on
agenda,
Woodward
please.
Avenue that wanted to have their alley vacated further north. This is the map. It's the same map.
Yes.
It's the same map. It's the same map. So whoever, if there's a person who had a piece of property and they wanted to get their alley vacated to take ownership of it, a good steward, somebody who's already been taking care of the land. Yeah, like Ohana, for example, it would have to get zoning. It would have to be zoned something.
So I thought.
Can we move on to the next item?
But rezoned to transit land development, right?
Ask the question again.
It wasn't unzoned, it was rezoned. It was approved to be rezoned as the transient oriented development, correct?
No, we just voted no.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry. Would you give me the vote back on item 7B?
No. Y'all
I'm talking to the
can't
clerk.
Jump around and make rules up as y'all go along. We need to move on to the
Excuse me,
next
sir.
agenda item.
When you chair a meeting, I'll let you do the chair.
On the item,
give me
y'all
that?
still talking.
Councilman Ashafi voted no. Councilwoman Martin voted no. Councilwoman Council Pro Tem
So no to the
Robinson
zone.
voted no.
So the rezoning, calling it the transit oriented development, it was
Yeah,
already
let's move on to
zoned
the next thing.
for something else.
Well,
But
no,
with all the, yes,
Could you-
now
could
it's
you tell her what it's
rezoned
zoned for now?
transit oriented development.
no. Could you tell her what it's zoned for now?
The area that we vacated was a public right of way.
Right, I
It was
got
a
that.
public right of way. It did not have a zoning classification because it was a public right of way.
I got that.
Once we vacated it, it became a unzoned parcel. It did not have a designation. The rezoning, as it is titled, is to assign it a designation, which is the TOD district.
And that's what the planning commission recommended that we do today,
To turn it into a transit oriented development.
just to give it some kind of zoning. So if we look at the map, we have a choice. You see this tan area here? You see the yellow area here? So right behind Winona, let me zoom the map out. That color coding shows us, give me my color coding, please. I'm waiting for it to load. Okay, so that is single family residential. So that yellow represents single family residential. So the space between these two, we have single family residential over here to your right, and we have TOD over here to the left. If you look, the gas station has transit oriented development that extends into the middle of the block because it's a gas station. Something similar happens here on Woodward Avenue where you have Glendale, Avalon Village. That's all transit oriented development. It extends all the way down to the block. In fact, on several blocks, on Buena Vista, where Barber is, transit oriented development goes all the way to John R. And this map was done for us by professionals, planners, who made a decision based on the data that the zoning should go. So transit oriented development goes all the way to the corner of John R. and Massachusetts, John R. and Rhode Island, John R. and Colorado, John R. and McLean, John R. and Ferran, John R. and Buena Vista border by the alley. It stops on Winona and Beresford. You see what I'm saying? That purple, this transit-oriented development goes all the way to John R. And this was the project that was put forth to create
What is that green or?
our master plan. This comes from our master plan.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so that last.
That's a cul-de-sac at the school.
Okay.
That's a cul-de-sac at the school. So now it doesn't have any zoning at all. And I wanted to make sure that that was clear. My purpose of doing this was to make sure that we thoroughly explain what we just did, because we didn't. So it's either we're going to zone it residential, we do want to zone it yellow and make it residential, or we're going to zone it TOD. It's 10 feet off of the building. Okay, Miss Manica, we're in between items here, but go right ahead.
Okay, yes, and so we can get to the next item, and I guess this is going to have to, something's gonna have to come back here. But even though we talking about that little parcel, actually, it's further down also as far as the rezoning. Am I correct? We still have to rezone the parking lot.
No,
That's a
No?
whole nother ballgame. They
Okay.
gotta come back to us and get that.
So they're gonna come back for that piece.
Oh.
Am I right?
they will not.
So it says zoning designation for a subject. I heard you, Ms. Martin. I'm trying to answer your question and get my question answered as well. The current zoning designation for the subject area includes R1 single family residential and unzoned right of way.
Correct. Those are the adjacent designations, the TOD, the R1 designation, and the unzoned portion, yes. So all of the residential, that will be to the east is all zoned single family,
So
and that would remain.
I think that there's some other questions there, which as President just said, is another ball game because that was residential, so that has to also be rezoned.
It does not.
It does not.
No, only the portion that we are vacating needs to be rezoned.
Well, I know that because we just vacated it,
Correct.
but in the
Yeah, but it has
meantime,
no
we
zoning
can,
now. It's,
something has to come back.
You said that the planning, they suggested TOD?
The planning commission, we provided a technical analysis and presented that to the planning commission. Based on our analysis and discussions, they agreed with staff's recommendation to rezone to TOD.
Is that in here?
It should be, yes.
okay.
So I'm
I have
sorry,
no other
going
questions.
forward, can we make sure
Yeah.
that we have a property? So I think the in question part for some of us is, do they really, the ownership, and did we do a survey, and do we have all that information? Okay,
All the information was,
it's in the
yes.
packet.
And MCA looked at it. They provided us an approval that the vacation did not conflict with any plans or anything they had going on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 10, under engineering resolution to issue a request for quote. Thank you, sir. I didn't mean to be abrupt. I'm sorry like that, but moving on to item 10, under engineering resolution to issue a request for quote for sinkhole catch basin repair. City Council, what's your pleasure on this item?
I move to approve resolution to issue request for quotes for sinkhole and catch basin repairs.
Support?
Motion made to approve the resolution for quotes made by
Thank you.
Councilwoman Manica, supported by Councilwoman Martin. Questions, concerns, dissent? Roll call, please, would you?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 9 of the Public Works, it's a resolution to approve the contract with Priority Waste LLC for solid waste collection services. City Council, what is your pleasure on this item?
Sorry, I missed that one.
This
Resolution
is the resolution to approve
for
the.
Public Works.
Yep,
Okay, resolution to approve contract with Priority Waste LLC for solid waste collection service.
is that a motion to approve?
That was a motion to approve.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair. Questions, concerns, or dissent? City Council? I'm
I got
sorry, Madam,
questions.
Madam Pro Tem,
Didn't we get this? one?
Madam Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll on item 9?
I got questions,
I'm
Councilman.
sorry, let's take a pause here. I'm sorry.
Did we get this one?
This is, no, this is our contract. This is,
The contract.
you're right. This is the renewal.
Okay.
Mr. Shalfie, go ahead.
I'm not really seeing a pricing in this contract. Seeing $230 an hour. I'm really not seeing the pricing in this contract. So on last page, it says, Sherman. $52,875.48. That's yearly, right?
So the pricing is on the last page.
So is that what that's costing us a year?
Looking at.
And the bid sheet is on page 17.
Each year is different price. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, different price of each year.
Look a second, that's all.
Last page, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, the first year price increases by less than 5% for the second year. The third year price is a 6% increase from the first year. These are inflationary costs, sir. I'm doing the math right here as I said. The third year is the third year is a 7% increase. These are round numbers. This is so straightforward that it's frightening. These costs, we're talking year over year. Yeah, the prices are there. There's 2 pages of actual costs. Go ahead, Ms. Pro Tem.
Okay, I see lead collection. In this contract resolution, does it explain how the leaves are to be packaged and you pick up? Is it here? It's right over here.
Okay, and also, is there a way that we could compare this prices to what we were paying before? Because there's somebody new, right? To tell you, when we would,
Yeah.
GFL. Okay, what were we paying them as opposed to this contract here?
Ms. Square, could you help me out? The trucks that came through the neighborhood this week, they were priority, right?
Yes, they were priority.
No,
Burgess is here, isn't it?
okay.
Yes, here he comes. Here he
Mr. Burgess,
comes.
could you add, the trucks that picked up my trash the other day, they're priority, right?
Yes,
Okay, so this is still a priority. This is a contract for priority, right?
for priority, that's correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the trucks that picked up my trash this week are the same ones on this piece of paper. Okay, good. Go ahead. Mr. Burgess.
Okay, so hold a second. Before you get started, Mr. Burgess, Council President, the administration is giving leeway to have somebody go to work before they have an official contract. That I've seen that constantly happen in this city, okay? So just because priority picked up our garbage this week doesn't mean they were the garbage carriers for us for the entire year. It was GFL, and I'm curious as to what we were paying GFL and what we're paying them now, because we didn't see a contract for GFL. They were already here when council came in, when this particular council came into play. So I'm simply asking the question, what were we paying GFL compared to what we're paying now?
Okay,
And on the
Mr.
data-
Burgess, as of January 1 this year, who was our trash service?
GFL at that time, and I think
As of January 1, and they ended our service when?
sometime in January, I came to the committee and asked that.
Yeah.
So they were, so.
And we
so
went out to
since-
bid.
Yes,
I
we
remember we
were
went
out
out
to
to
bid.
bid for it.
And in answer to your question above, we say that the current rate,
Okay.
Okay,
that's what we are paying now.
and then am I correct in that priority purchased GFL?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Go right ahead, sir.
And
So,
you see the current rate there
so look here.
and the yearly, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine, Mr. Burgess. I have a slight headache, so please forgive me. Nobody's trying to say that you're wrong, Council President. We get that part, okay? What I simply asked the question of, have the rates changed from what we're paying GFL then to what we're paying priority now?
Accept my
a simple
apology, Mr. El
question.
Shafi. Let me just,
That's a simple question.
accept my
without the
apology.
sarcasm and
okay,
everything
accept my
else.
apology. Mr. Burgess, could you please provide Mr. El Shafi with some clarification?
Priority purchased GFL,
Uh-huh.
early January, February, I don't have the exact dates.
Okay.
And in
You
doing
know,
so,
President,
in doing so,
I'm a chemist. I don't do
Mhm.
and in doing so, they assume the contract,
Okay, just like it was.
just like it was.
Okay, that's all I asked.
That's how I know it.
That's all I needed. Thank you, Mr. Burgess.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for clarifying that.
excuse me, Mr. President.
I get cranes, Miss
You get
Robinson.
who?
The newspaper.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. I appreciate that.
Cranes, it's stuff like that is in. Okay, so any more questions? If not, we can go ahead and take the roll on this item. This is a resolution to approve the contract with Priority Waste Management made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair. If you would take the roll on that, please.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 12, under Police Department, we have a resolution to approve the purchase of 2 new police vehicles from Gorno Ford for the Police Department. I will read this as a walk-on. Whereas the city wishes to add 2 new patrol vehicles to replace the current aging fleet. Vehicles will assist in 1, the reduction of maintenance expenses, 2, improve vehicle uptime, and 3, the reduction of crime. And whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department requests a quote for 2 new 2025 vehicles through the State of Michigan MIDEAL program to obtain optimal pricing. And whereas Gorno Ford offered 2 new police vehicles for $93,770. And whereas the vehicles will require upfitting at a total cost not to exceed $20,000. And whereas the State of Michigan My Deal program is an extended purchase program which allows Michigan cities to use state contracts to buy goods and services. And whereas the city is currently a My Deal dues paying member for Gordo and Gordo Ford is a My Deal vendor. And whereas the price of the My Deal contract for the vehicles from Gordo Ford has an overall savings of approximately $15,100 that could be realized by the city when compared to vehicles purchased from other vendors. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the city approves the purchase of 2 vehicles from Gorno Ford for a total cost of $93,770, and the upfitting not to exceed $20,000. And the upfitting term, I'm assuming, is related to what is necessary to transform a standard vehicle into a police vehicle. So that is the resolution for the public. City Council, what is your pleasure on item 12, resolution to approve the purchase of 2 new police vehicles from Gorno Ford for the police department?
Do we already call a motion for it?
Yep.
Okay. And you said uplifting is just transforming it?
Upfitting, yes, ma'am.
I move
That's what
to
you said?
approve the
Upfitting,
purchase
sorry, upfitting.
of 2 new police vehicles from Gorno Ford for the police department.
Say that again, ma'am.
I move to approve the purchase of 2 new police vehicles from Gorno Ford for the police department.
Chair offers a second. Questions, concerns?
Yeah, I got questions.
Go right ahead, sir.
How many cars since January 2023 have we bought the police department so far?
I believe 5.
Were they all new?
Yes.
And how many cars do we have in our fleet altogether?
Give me 1 second. I believe we have 15 vehicles, which includes UC vehicles as well as transportation vehicles.
Are they all the same year?
No, that should be new because we bought that the last year. So that should be new. The truck and the basin that goes into the truck to catch the dogs, to hold the dogs, were all bought last year. So I know darn well that's got to be new because I remember it.
It is new.
Okay. So
they're not all the same year?
No, they vary from our oldest vehicle in the fleet being probably a 2008.
the oldest vehicle is 2000. And how many vehicles are outdated?
I don't understand the question.
I mean, how many of them are old? Like 2008, 2007? How many do we have like that?
Most our transportation vehicles are older. Most of our police vehicles are 20, like our patrol vehicles that are assigned to patrol are 2020 and newer.
Okay.
I got another question, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
Did we consider other than Gorno Ford? Did we consider any other places?
Yeah, we considered other My Deal vendors,
Right.
which were Obviously, there's other brands, Chevy and
Right, right, right.
Chrysler. Unfortunately, the dealerships, the My Deal dealerships that stock the other brands were not, did not have vehicles in stock. Because we actually preferred to get the Durango, because that's what the majority of our fleet is, but they didn't have them in stock.
Chief, this was this a part of our budget for this year? Was this budgeted?
Yeah, we set money aside in capital outlay.
Okay.
And again, I apologize for bringing it so late, but I wanted to make sure that we did have the funding available at the end of the year. So we kind of waited till the last minute to confirm that we would have funding available to make this purchase.
Okay, go right ahead, Ms. Martin.
Okay, so chief, question, you know, so we're spending about 45,000 per car.
Correct.
So my question is there anywhere else that money that could have been allocated to? Like, I don't know, getting a recruiter to get more police officers out there?
Well, sure, we got a million things that we need. We could build a jail, we could do all these other things, but the problem is if our cars break down, we can't answer runs.
So we're
And-
doing it by foot.
So we kind of prioritize these expenses. In previous years, we went years without purchasing vehicles, and that hurt us because we had numerous vehicles in the shop. We were spending a ton of money on repairs. And basically these vehicles are being ran, around the clock. So it puts a lot of wear and tear on these vehicles. We average, our cars are averaging right now 98,536 miles a year, which works out to be 98,536 in our cars, which works out to be about 30 something, 30 miles a day.
You said a year?
Correct. Per vehicle. Which in a 2.9 square mile city, that's a significant amount of driving.
That's a lot on a 2008.
No. The 2008s are transportation vehicles.
Transport, okay.
Yeah, so like prisoner transport van, things like that.
Okay.
No further questions, Mr.
So,
President.
Chief, we have, the majority of our fleet is 2020 and up, correct?
Correct.
So that means that each one of our vehicles, the majority of our vehicles is less than 5 years old. What's the lifespan of a normal police car? Say we have a bustling city, which we really don't. It's only 8,000 people here. But say we did have a bustling city, how long would a squad car last the city?
Well, I mean, that's a difficult question because when cars go down, so if we have so many vehicles, if a car goes down, let's say it's out at the dealership, like right now, we're looking at repairs that sometimes take excess of 2 months at the dealerships because even for vehicles that are under warranty, because that's the nature of car repair these days. So that car's down, which means it leaves us a smaller pool of vehicles, which means those vehicles are being consistently ran. So, consistently running vehicles over and over puts more additional wear and tear on it, which increases our maintenance costs. It's a question I really can't answer as far as what's the wear, what's the average lifespan of a vehicle, because it's solely based on usage.
Okay. So Chief, the last 5 cars that were purchased
Yes.
were all purchased last year. I think we had 1 in 2023, but the other 4 were purchased last year. So we're averaging a new car every 90 days.
So that's an incorrect statement. We didn't purchase vehicles last year.
We did 2 purchase vehicles last year.
We purchased in 2023. We purchased them under a grant. Those did not come out of a general fund.
So all 5 cars were in 23. I'll go back and check my notes. Okay, so if we purchase in 23, that comes out to 1 new car every 90 days. Okay, I'll tell you, with a little bit extra over.
I would challenge your math.
Okay, I am, what I'm concerned with, it's fine if you challenge the math. I'm asking a question, okay? Because I already don't like the police department to begin with. So I'm really being nice.
Thank you for making that statement.
I'm really being nice.
I appreciate that.
Okay, I'm just concerned about the expense. I'm concerned about the expense, all right?
Mr. Shafi, I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't expect a fair vote from you anyway.
Good. Good. I'm glad you feel that way.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to item 12 on the police department. The motion was made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair. Would you go ahead and take the roll on item 12? Resolution to purchase 2 new police vehicles.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, for the new vehicles.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson. Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. So I'm gonna set my timer. Thank you so much, Chief. Ms. Manica, go ahead.
Just real quick, Chief, I know we probably don't have any that we just don't have no more. So say our vehicles that we can't use, can we put them in auction?
So we do. We auction our vehicles.
Yeah.
The council had approved us to use gov bids. So that's who we utilize when we auction vehicles that exit our fleet for whatever reason. So.
Okay, thanks. I just
Thank you
wanted
so
to make
much,
sure I
sir.
forgot. Thank you.
Thank you, council. Thank you, Councilman Ashafi. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay, now,
funny.
we are at the portion of, we're at the end of all business for the city has concluded. And before we move into citizens' participation, as I said at the last meeting, don't judge us up here. We're regular folk. Okay, so we have to go through and read these documents. This document had to be read by us. All the IT that you saw tonight, somebody had to go learn how to do that before they could sit at this desk and make it look easy, because it's not. You have 2 minutes and a couple over to make whatever statements that you would like to make today. I'm gonna start with my people online. If you don't mind, if I still have hands online, I'm asking the people who are logged in online if you would like to go ahead and get your comments made. Going once. People online, Tucker Jackson, Note Taker, Wooten, Metro, Zayed, Morgan. Okay, to the people in the gallery, please feel free to line up here to make your statements. I want to see how robust this line is before I get my timing together, because I know I don't like interrupting people when they're talking. I really don't. But I want to make sure we adhere to time. We are at almost 9 o'clock. So if you would please kindly state your name. I won't start your time until you say your name, and I will give you your time to go ahead and make your comment.
Good evening. Highland Parkers. My name is Benita Lavelle. I reside in 92 Tennyson, and I'm coming because of a complaint. I have lived at that address since August of 2018. There is a lot next to me. When I moved in, I went to the city and I told them I wanted to buy the property. They put stipulations on me, said it had to be cleaned up, pictures had to be taken. I had to bring them to the court. Since that time, for the last 5 years, I have maintained that land as well as my property. 3 weeks ago, there were some neighbors next door. They said that they came and they were allowed to buy the property without giving me a chance to purchase it. I am terribly upset. I sent a letter last week to the mayor and my district person. I didn't receive anything back. I spoke with her today. I would like that resolved. Again, I've lived there longer, but since 2018. The people next door on the other side were able to buy the lot, and I was told that it would go to me. I would have first dibs. That was not the case. So I'm very upset about that.
Ma'am, could you give me your name
So,
one more time?
My name is Benita Lavelle,
Benita Lavelle.
Leavell, at 92 Tennyson. Tennyson and John R. The corner house is where I reside. And I hope it goes in my favor. If that's the case, and there's a dispute, I can come in and purchase the land tomorrow when it opens, when court opens, because I've wanted it. And again, the man that's been maintaining that, I've maintained it for 5 years. And they said there would be no question since I was there first. But it was sold June the 3rd. I came up and checked with the treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, before you, Ms. Lavelle, before you sit down, did you talk to the CED director?
Did I talk to who?
Have you talked to the CED director?
I don't know who that is.
That's Mr. Clyburn. Have you talked to CED?
No, I called, again, I was up here for 2 days. I didn't get a call until earlier this week.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I called someone, they said you have to take it to the city council. And so, I wrote a letter. I did speak with Miss Manica. She did acknowledge that she got it, and I sent a copy to the mayor. And everything is explained really clearly what has happened. They have my records, they know the homes in August of 2018. And I have a letter from the man that's maintained that since that time.
Did you apply for,
They told me, they said, Ms. Lavelle, there's no rush because you were there first. You can
I
come
see.
in and you can come in and you can purchase it because the other house was vacant. So I said, that's fine. I'll just maintain it until, but I am prepared to buy the property today now. Thank you.
okay, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Pat. I thought, who
I'll be
was,
brief here.
who was next?
Danny Packman, I live between 2nd and 3rd on Avalon, and there's a trash dumping problem. And I understand there's a city cleanup coming up, and if the city could provide a trailer to take a small pile of trash to one of the dumpsters, that would be really appreciated. I have these photographs. Pass them out. It is right by a giant pile of trash. Okay. Yeah, there's a city-owned property, 161 Avalon, where the backyard has an enormous pile of trash, and it's been a dumping site for a long time. And the new pile of trash is near the old pile of trash, so that's kind of a bigger project, but all I'm trying to do right now is remove this small pile of trash that's right in the middle of the alley and blocking me from driving down it, as well as the people who are storing the house right next to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Like the time, man.
Thank you, I made it.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. The mayor in her absence, city council members, and the citizens of this great city. Point of information, I'm just curious. On item,
Could you state your name, sir?
Robert Douglas Lodge Jr.,
Thank you.
Block Club President, East Grand and Brush. Item number 8, I heard everything went on, but I didn't hear a price for the alley that was proposed to be given to the company, the development. I heard no cost whatsoever, so I take it the city is giving them potentially that land. And also, when the resolution for that particular property, all the parking lots that take up Beersford, from the resolution that originally was proposed, this council voted yes based on a community garden. I don't see a community garden. Also based on access for everyone who uses their businesses to alleviate the public parking, the congestion, and it's not allowed. It's no trespassing sign on that fence. So I don't know what's going on here, but the citizens are not being treated fairly. And so that's a point of information. I want to stand here and really express my concern. On June the 2nd, Council President Thomas, you expressed your concern with the citizens not considering council members' humanity. And you stated earlier, just a moment ago, we need not judge this council. My issue is, and I'm addressing the entire council, I first of all want on behalf sincerely give you my condolences. I'm serious about the hurt and pain that you are experiencing. It's quite evident, and you have every right to be in pain. I dare not imagine to go through what you're going through. I shudder at the thought. My thing is understanding a loving father, what you experience. I know that you're hurting. And in my profession, I realize that hurt people hurt people.
Mr. Lyles, you are
No, I'm
not
not
about to
done.
take,
I'm
no,
not
you're
done.
not about to take, you're not
I'm
about to
not
talk
done. I'm
about
gonna
my
finish
personal. No, you're
Because
not.
we're
Because
not
the
gonna
clock is
tolerate any
over.
condescending,
You're done.
patronizing,
Get this man off the podium.
disrespectful.
Don't you come up
behavior.
here and
I'm
invoke the
telling
name
you.
of my child. Don't you come up here and invoke the name of my child on some BS.
I'm giving you my condolences.
I don't, no.
Okay.
You come up in here and antagonize me like it's a joke.
No, sir. No, sir.
You know what? Mister,
No, sir.
Mister,
Condescending, patronizing.
Mister, look,
Rude.
Mister, don't. 24 months I never saw you. 24 months I never saw you.
Since March.
Try Jesus. Don't try me.
Condemn,
Okay? How you doing, ma'am? Go ahead.
patronizing, and
Go ahead.
disrespectful to the citizens.
We come here first to say thank you. We come here first to say that their ancestors are great. We come here to say that they're loved. I come here today to just thank you for this moment. My concern is this: 29 years of being in the city, owning property, 5 years of denial, and urgent plea for safety and equity. The back doors are in our alley. 5 years ago, we stood before you, we pleaded. We asked for protection. Today, businesses seek the same closure. This is about fundamental fairness. Since denial, we live in a war zone. Our back doors are open directly to crime. It's a crime corridor. This is the only housings in the city of Highland Park that's set up where you walk out the back door, you're in the alley. People walk down the alley, break-ins, harassments, cars being stolen, cars being sliced. Don't hear the pain that the residents here are saying to you. We have a new council, we have new ears. We thank you for your ears, but the residents are in pain. Businesses are in pain too, but we've been here a long time. We just want you to sort of rehear the danger that we're experiencing then and now. No residents are investing for decades. Businesses, church, they get their alley closed. Businesses deserve protection. Residents do not. We are asking the request plead with fresh eyes. We earned our place here. We ask for a council member to try to reconsider what we come. Come and see what we live. Police, we make police reports. I'll give you one example, and excuse me for my time. Recently, the man came in we're right in the alley, broke into the house, stole everything in the house, okay? After he stole everything in the house, I witnessed, my husband saw him, Chief Firebird, saw him, went and did a citizen arrest, called the Highland Park, the police department. We waited there for an hour and a half for them to pick up this man with no fingers. He's broken into a lot of our houses. We said to the city, look, we got him here. We stayed there fighting. They arrested him. This is the same man that took the stuff, take your stuff to put it on the street and sell it. But thank you. Please reconsider us. Thank you. And
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Stubbs or Diane Hoy. His name is Stubbs, no fingers. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
My name is Keith Hoy. That was my wife that just spoke. We've properties owners on Church Street, the department complex there for 29 years. And before any of you were on the city council, I did with the guy came, I did the same presentation with the community development and all the everything he did, we did, but we were denied. We were trying to close the alley. And one of my big points was the car dealer got the alley closed. They close at 5 o'clock and go home. The church got the alley closed. They only come on Sunday. We there 24/7, 365, and we got to share with everybody else, the thieves that come through the alley. Every time I see somebody come in the alley, I cringe up because like, what you doing here? You know, we got stuff, we can't lay stuff around. You know, the back door opens into the alley. Here's a little diagram of back door, come down the steps, your car right there. 3 feet. So it's into the alley. So every time I see somebody coming down the alley, it's kind of cringing. Thank God when we did it before, when we tried to do it before, I found out that the east alley closest to Woodward was already on an old deed of ours. But the west alley is the one we wanted to close, and we were denied. So today, with an all new administration, y'all see differently. Y'all passed the guy before me. So I'm gonna start the paperwork all over again. And I just feel like you're gonna do the same for us. Close the alley this time so we can fence it off and be safe at home. My grandkids, my daughters, our family, our friends, we'll be safe living inside of a fence rather than being exposed to the alley. Thank you for that.
Can I go?
You may begin.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank Mayor McDonald for yielding some time to Solidarity to be able to speak on behalf of our solar streetlight project. Good evening, Council President, Pro Tem, council members, neighbors, and fellow community builders. My name is Shamika Nichols. I'm a resident located on Tyler Street between Hamilton and 3rd. I'm also the current executive director of Solidarity, founded in 2012 by Highland Parkers after 1,100 streetlights were repossessed by DTE. I stand before you proud to live, work, and organize in Highland Park. Solidarity has been featured on the nationally acclaimed Today Show, on regional podcasts, across local media, including WDIV This Weekend, and not for spectacle, but because we are very serious and have always been serious about relighting Highland Park. It is our whole jam. We brought the Department of Energy here through Communities Leap, working with top experts, including the Department of Engineering and clean energy and economic development projects. Our reputation is rooted in facts, transparency, and pride for this city. We've recently installed off-grid solar power streetlights, and I want to be very specific. We did so without circumventing any city processes, contrary to speculation or accusations. We paid for permits, surety bonds. We work with departments across the spectrum to ensure compliance. Now, our pilot of 10 public right-of-way streetlights with free public Wi-Fi for the community is complete and now is ready for City Council approval. These lights are a win-win-win for public safety, city visibility, and our mission. We will continue to come to you over the next few council meetings to ask for the last piece of an interdepartmental partnership with us. Your yes or no vote in the future is for that purpose, not necessarily for permission, which we did obtain. In future meetings, we'll propose a resolution to be able to gift and donate these 10 solar power streetlights and invite y'all to collaborate on 50 more if possible. Installers, manufacturers, and contractors have all been vetted and are trusted and will bring receipts. Our published energy democracy plans and our reports show that it's not only possible, but it's also affordable. We invite you to lead with us. Let's make Highland Park a model of community-owned clean energy, not just for survival, but for collective thriving. Let's align budgets with resident priorities and restore lighting in the right-of-way with local control, your control, and community pride. Thank you, Council, for your service, your responsible governance, and for being willing to flip the switch with us. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, it's been brought to my attention that some of the vendors who were bidding on the tow contract had concerns about their bids that they had posted. There's proprietary information in there. They'd like to keep them sealed. If I can make a suggestion that we just mail them back to the vendors in sealed envelopes. They can't be mailed back? I would rather not be involved in that process simply because,
Pick them up themselves.
yeah, we could call them just so we remain transparent, so nobody sees someone else's bid. I don't want that to be a future claim that we opened the bids and shared the information with someone. I don't know. I mean, the clerk, whatever you suggest, but
So can I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
Madam Deputy Clerk, can you just put them in a seal, something, for them to come back?
They're already sealed. They have not been opened. No, they haven't been opened. They're already sealed. They're sealed like they submitted them. They have not been opened.
so we could call them, like, Councilwoman suggested or Councilman suggested, just to pick them up.
Whatever the pleasure of the body is.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
we gotta make a motion for that?
I move that they
In
pick 'em up.
council affairs. In council affairs, Mr. Sharp.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you please state your name for the record?
Hi, I'm Shakira Dancy. I live on 100 Tennyson with my fiance, Jalen Smith, and daughter, Nairobi. So I would like to speak to the subject matter that the first person spoke about coming up here, Miss Lavelle. We are the neighbors of Miss Lavelle. My fiance, Jalen, and I are the owners of 100 Tennyson and 98 Tennyson. My fiance, Jalen, has been a citizen of Highland Park for 25 years before 2018, since he was born. And we have family who has been here longer than that, since 1960 on Avalon. We worked our butts off to get that lot ever since we owned 100 Tennyson in August 2024. We appreciate the city council and administration in working with us and helping us get approved for the lot to increase our property value and be able to fix our house. The process was almost seamless and all done without harassment. We graduated from MSU spring 2023. I with my bachelor's and master's degree, and Jalen with 2 bachelor's degrees. We didn't have to come back to Highland Park, but we did. And not only did we just come back, but we brought 2 properties, are actively making renovations and increasing our property value. And not to mention, again, we just brought a newborn to this world back in March of this year. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Greetings, council.
Hello.
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 I'm Trinae Hoy, and I've been staying over at Alhana Gardens for 6 months. I'm a family member that was visiting from out of town, and I have witnessed in the last 6 months, urination, all kinds of fighting throughout that alley. I'm disabled. And so going out the back door to my van is pretty scary to me. So I just wanted to let y'all know that.
What's your name?
Thank you.
Trinae Hoy.
And what street?
It's 20 Church.
So you live here now?
I'm still just visiting, but I'm working with them for the next 6 months, another 6 months, but I'll be back and forth. I work here.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Young. I live at 194 East Grand.
194?
Yes, 194 East Grand. And I have no problem with the police department. I called them out to my house. They wrote up the guy taking my rollaway jack, taking my fender out the gate. And I asked them to go and get it back or go and arrest him because he was doing some work for me, and I fired him because he wasn't doing the work properly. I hired him to sand all the rust off my old school car. He went and spray painted it. Put a coat on it. I asked him, why did he do that before he removed all the rust and the dent off? He couldn't give me no answer. You don't do that before you finish the body work. And so I fired him, told him not to come back to my house anymore. I gave him $2,500. He charged me $6,000 to do the job. I gave him $2,500. He did none of the work that I asked him to do. And so I called the police out, made a report. They said they were gonna go pick him up. I kept calling them. They kept telling me, oh, I lost the information. What does the information mean? I said, he live on Fullerton. I said, how many times I got to give you the same information? So I figured they were playing a game. I called the chief of police, talked to him, and sent him the foot tag of my video camera that I looked back and saw him taking it out because my security camera picked him up going out the gate. I sent that to him and he told me he was gonna arrest him. He did nothing. It's going on over a year. And they haven't did nothing. So that is my question. I want to know why they don't do their job.
Thank you.
No.
Sir, so this is citizens' comment. This is your opportunity to make comments and to be heard. We have an opportunity during council affairs to attempt to answer your question. I want to make something very clear. This is city council. We are the legislative body. We're the board of directors for the nonprofit municipal corporation. We vote through our actions. Our actions come out as resolutions. Many of your questions will be addressed to the administration. So we listen, but our job is not to report or to answer your questions, although it is the purview of the members of city council to address anything that's said at this podium. So I do thank you for your comments, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
I would like to say my name is Pastor Reginald Brantley, and I'm just happy to be here. How many of y'all happy to be here?
Yes.
Can I get a favor from all y'all? Can you just clap your hands? Clapping of the hands is a form of worship.
Hey.
And I want to share this. I'm gonna be brief. I grew up here in Highland Park.
Yes.
On the corner of Hamilton and Leslie,
Yes.
used to be Wrigley Supermarket. I went to Cortland, I went to Fairs, I went to the old high school. Most of y'all know I come, but I don't say nothing. My father told me something. He said, if you leave home right, you can return home right. You know why I come to these council meetings? Because I love my city. I don't have to live here to love it. But this is where I got my start. I'm not gonna act like I'm at church. Don't worry, we ain't gonna take an offering. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a retired construction worker. We didn't do residential. The company I worked for, Aristio Construction, we didn't look at nothing under 3 million. I was a superintendent. I retired from construction at the age of 53. I'm 66 now. I know I don't look it, but I am. But I want to say this. I want us to come together. Let's get over the bickering. I'm tired of hearing the bickering. You follow what I'm saying? I mean it from my heart because I'm gonna share something with you. I'm not upset. But if I want Popeye's chicken, the last place I can get is at Telegraph and 12 Mile. Once you get past it, there is no Popeye's chicken. They're constantly building up out there in Novi. Condos all over the place. I'm gonna make it fast. Everything you see going on downtown, we heard about that before it happened. The Q1 rail supposed to start from Pontiac to downtown, from downtown to Chicago. As we speak right now, and I said this to you all. Anybody remember the Joe Louis Arena? Oh, they didn't tore it down, didn't they? You heard of Southwest General Hospital? They can tear that down, do a women's soccer arena. Because in the year 2000, they want to do a joint venture between us and Canada for the Olympics. That's why they're building the bridge. 5 years after the bridge, they're gonna do the tunnel. Here's where I'm trying to go with this.
All right, Pastor.
Instead of bickering, let's start building up our city.
I don't want to be rude. Everybody got their 2 minutes, Pastor.
I appreciate it, but I'm gonna say it like it is.
No, no,
Because-
sir, no, sir, no, sir. In your church, I swear I will go by your rules. That everybody got the same time. And like I said before, I hate to interrupt people. So I tell you, you're gonna have 2 minutes.
Okay.
So that's what you have. And I appreciate you coming, and I love seeing you in the pews every day.
Okay.
But you're gonna have, no, sir, no, sir. You're gonna have your same time that the other gentleman had, that the lady before you had. And I thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
Okay. I just want to say to you, President, at my church, there is no time limit.
Sir, I would ask you to respect the same rules that the lady before you and the lady before you and the lady before you, the gentleman before you did, okay?
Trust me, bro.
No, sir, please don't grandstand, sir. Sir, please don't. It's not fair to the other people who didn't do it, okay? All the things that happened in this room, if I have to get criticized for trying to bring structure, that tells me a lot about who you are. not about who I am. Of all the shenanigans that take place in this room, if you're gonna come in here, if all you two pastors, and I'm a grandson of a pastor, if you're gonna come in this room and criticize me trying to maintain structure, that tells me a lot about who you are. Don't say, sir, in a uniform, sit him down, would you? Sit him down, sit him down, sit him down, sit him down. If you're gonna come into this room after all the things that take place, and you're gonna criticize me for trying to maintain structure, it tells me everything I need to know about you. So, sir, Chief, get him out of here, please. Walk him out of here, please. Chief, walk him out of here. Chief, walk him out of here, please. Pastor, I don't understand. You would never allow me to do this in your church. You see what happens in this room, and you got criticism for me. You see what happens in this room every weekend. You people come in here and criticize me for trying to maintain structure. That tells me a lot about who you are.
And he is a good shepherd.
I don't doubt it, but I have to keep the same rules that I'm gonna hold to the other. How you doing, Mr. McGee? Go right ahead.
Yes, good evening, council. I would just like to say, I'm one of the people who live on Beresford Street. And so far, DMC has been a good neighbor. What they're doing, they've kept their word to me, at least to our neighborhood, what they're doing. Matter of fact, the other day, I went to each neighbor on my block and asked them about how do they feel about that lot. They said they like it. They like the fact that the garbage is contained up there. They don't have to look at vacant houses that were up there at one time, and it's not overgrown. It's not overgrown because I cut it for the last 18 years, but the neighbors are pleased. Even the neighbors on Winona are pleased too with it. So with all the criticism, I think we need to, if we could sell something that's not being used, you're talking about, I forget the footage that you said, but it seemed very minute. It wasn't big. Think about this. We tore down a whole neighborhood to build that Means Logistic Parkway. That building has to be over 450,000 square feet. We tore down a whole neighborhood to build an empty building. Think about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
Hello, doing okay. My name is Juan Shannon, Executive Director of the Parker Village Foundation, and greetings to council, to the community. I really just wanted to quickly point out something, and that is when this new administration and this new council came into office, I had such extreme high hopes for what the city was about to accomplish. I continue to watch things that could be accomplished in this city, and a lot of them are stopped for reasons that are not fully explained sometimes, reasons that are explained sometimes, and reasons that are just bypassed. There are several organizations in this city. I'm a part of a 3-group organization, but there's more than us. But I don't know their figures. I just wanted to point out that there are people and developers that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in this city. And I can't understand why people aren't working with them closer. Because it's a fact. You can bring up the taxes. You can bring up the permits. You can bring up all kinds of records. These people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And truthfully, I'm being modest, to help improve this city. So I only ask, please find a way to help these people.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we're done in the gallery. We have a hand online.
Ask the person online to unmute and make your comment.
Yes, Council President, this is Mayor McDonald.
Go ahead.
On my way out, I received some
As a
information.
citizen. Mayor
As a-
McDonald, are you speaking as the mayor or are you speaking as a citizen?
I'm speaking as the mayor. Or I
Okay, you get
received,
2 minutes.
I can take 2 minutes, that's fine, it won't take long. I received information that a document was passed out or circulated by people in the audience to other folks. I want us to be mindful that when you put out information or give it out to people, that you do not place their personal phone numbers on there. That information is should not have happened. Someone had now that multiple people have a citizen's personal phone number on a document. That can cause the city harm. And I appreciate it if whoever put that out, that they
Can
make
I see
sure
that
that
document? We don't know what
they
that is. What is it?
redact it. You're supposed to deduct information. So please do not give out information, especially people's personal information, and
I'll
put
take
them in document
Up here.
and give them to citizens and whoever else. That's all I have to say, because it can cause the city harm. There can be backlash.
So we don't see it.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
So that was the last comment. We are bringing public comments to a close. Public comments are done for tonight. I'll just put this back out here for whoever it belongs to. Mr. El Shafi, you had the floor.
Okay.
And we're gonna have citizens' comments of 5 minutes or less.
Okay,
sorry.
so I was asked today to ask the city about a piece or I should say a symbol that was hanging off the bridge that was put up there by Amina Omar, our former council member that passed away. And the residents wanted to know what happened to that African symbol. And they were being told that the city took it down and that the city has it at DPW, and they said they were going to put it back up, but it hasn't gone back up yet. So maybe someone can look into that. Okay. Now, having said that, I will say this. I want to clarify something. I made it clear how I feel. And there's nobody in this city who doesn't know exactly how I feel. I despise the police. I loathe the police. May they burn in hell in this life and the next. That's how I feel about the police. But having said that, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop them from having the things that they need to do the job that they're supposed to do for you. How I feel is irrelevant to the job that I'm doing here. My feelings don't dictate up here. Okay, but I will express to you clearly, you can burn in hell in this life and the next. Okay, and that's just how I feel about you.
Very professional.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? But like I said, as I said, I wouldn't have this attitude if we stayed professional, but we never been professional. It's always been some form of a game. It's always been some form of a lie. It's always been some form of smoke being blown up my backside. There's always been some game of somehow, okay? So it's hard to stay professional when you're not professional, okay? But as I said, unlike you and unlike anybody else in this city, I could detach from my feelings and do my job here. And as you saw, I gave them the police cars they needed because they definitely need it. Okay, the fleet is old, is beat down. They only got a few new cars, and most of them we gave them. Okay, so I got no problem with that. Okay. But I will not sit here and act like we buddies and friends. We'll never have a beer. I'll never go nowhere with you. We'll never hang out at a ball game. I wouldn't care if you had a heart attack and dropped dead right here, right now. I'd be the last one to give you CPR. I promise you that. Now, having said that,
I'll be the first one to get used to it.
oh, if I come through and I see your mouth or my mouth, we fighting after that, buddy. All right, so Having said that, HP, all I ask you to do is what I've always asked you to do. Stay focused, keep your eye on the prize. This city is being eyeballed. You don't think for a second that you're going to escape through this development. They're coming up Woodward. You're next on the list. And if we're not careful, we'll be kicked out on that same list. So I need you to keep your guards up. I need you to stand firm. I need you to fight with me and not against me. I don't care if you don't like me. Like this, love the city, like the city. And if you got that common interest, we can work together. If you don't have that common interest, then get your regular ass out my way. Okay? HP is what matters. The survival of this city and your existence in this city is what matters to me. I could care less about the rest. This is not a popularity contest. I'm not here to be your friend or your buddy or your pal. I don't care if you like me or you don't like me. If you love this city, then I expect that you're going to stand with me to protect this city. And with that, HP, I love you. Have a good evening. I yield back, Council President.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Martin.
Yeah, let me just say a few things. One, I want to say, you know, if you fight for lack or what's missing, you're going to continuously find that.
Yes, emergency call or important call. Go ahead, Ms. Martin.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to say is that I agree. The means group, that's disrespect to knock down all those houses and to do nothing in that building. And we're not talking about nothing in that building for just 30 days. We're talking about there's been nothing for months. So I agree with you on that. Number two, I'm going to say that I'm going to end like this. Congratulations to Florence and Louise. Solidarity, thank you so much. Long before I became city council, the citizens were complaining about how dark Highland Park is, how unsafe it is for the children, how unsafe it is for the women. And the fact that you guys turned that around, that is awesome. I want to say thank you so very much. I appreciate that. It's about time that Highland Park had a win. That was a long time coming. So I don't think that you are getting as many hats off to. Thank you for doing that. And I continue to look for you guys to do the next block, street, so on and so forth. And I'm happy to be a part of that. So thank you so very much for that contribution. And with that being said, I'm always saying thank you for staying here. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate all of you. And I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Manica.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. I don't have much this evening. Really want to say thank you also to Solidarity for their assistance in a lot of areas that you probably don't see. And that is, for one, that DTE piece, going to the commission meetings, et cetera. Those are things that you don't hear talked about, but they attend those and bring that information back if you do get their, their mail or whatever. So thank you for the lighting and thank you for the extra stuff that you do if people seek out that assistance. So saying that, I'm gonna say again, there are a lot of other areas that we need to see you at as well. So for example, that's the zoning board meeting. That's the police. Someone had a complaint about the police. You should be at the police commissioner meeting. Those people are on those commission to monitor those areas. Police and fire, there's a police and fire commission. So it's not that we are not hearing you or we're not doing anything. That's actually not our job. This is a good place for you to announce it, but you also want to attend those other meetings. So we have the zoning board, we have police and fire commission. We have a number of different committees. We even have a Parks and Rec commission. So if you don't attend those, then things just go ahead. You talked about zoning. If you don't go to the zoning, or there was another, I can't think right now, what's the other meeting, but to voice your opinion, then they have to go on what they see before them. They don't know what the residents want. Now, residents can continue to come in here and I don't know. I'm not sure sometimes what is actually being done besides just hollering at us and complaining or making your pitch for the next go around of elections. I'm not sure. But either way, we've been here. We've been here. This is our 3rd year. It's not like we're not trying, and we're trying to get it right. And so I'm also going to ask that, or we'll be speaking with commission. So the other thing you should be going to is when community development has their meetings. If you're not going to those things, TIFA, et cetera, meetings, then you will not know what's happening. You won't know. You can't voice your opinion. And I can't stress that enough. You can stand up here before us 20 times. But if you don't show up at a commissioner meeting where they're actually making the plan before it get to us, et cetera, it's on the calendar. The page, City Council, not City Council, I'm sorry, City of Highland Park has a page and has a calendar on it. I'm looking at it right now. You even have a chat with the chief. You know, you got to get it past some of the stuff that you got to hang up on and go show up at that meeting. You have to go show up at those meetings, at those places to have those conversations. You can't just come when you want something or when you're mad about something. Go and say, hey, I don't want this, or I do want this. So January 1st, I will be having another mix it up with Manica. You could come. It is in my district, but I don't mind if other residents come, because all I'm going to do is relay it to the respective council person or administration. And it's at 5:30 at Cakes and Shakes right there. So if you haven't been to Cakes and Shakes, so I'm giving her a nice little plug right now. If you haven't been to Cakes and Shakes, try her out. She is.
You said January.
Did I say January? I'm sorry. July 1st. Sorry about that. July 1st at 5:30. It's an hour, 5:30, 6:30. It's more of a listening session. I'm gonna hear you. We might not be able to have that discussion, but I had a nice little discussion last week on Tuesday with several residents. So I'm letting you know to come out and also enjoy this business, which is here in Highland Park, and we want her to stay here. She's a small business. She gets a lot of business actually from other cities, believe it or not. And I know why, but either way, I will be having that again on July 1st. So I just want to say thank you again. And remember, check out the calendar. Go talk to some of those commissioners, some of those other people, and tell them what you think. Have a great night.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Pro Tem.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I invited Mr. Keith and his Ohana people. I invited them to come tonight because the citizens need to know what's going on and what we have in our packets. If I had time enough today, I would have printed out everything that was in my packet so you could see it. But I did want you to see what I received last Monday, as a matter of fact, the brief that I printed out because my name is on the top of it. I'm the one that passed it out so that you can see what we see and when we see it. And with that being said, I would like to make a motion to have what the contents in our packet minus the closed sessions be made available to the citizens of the city of Highland Park. Can I get a second?
It used to be, you could look at the whole agenda and everything.
There's a motion.
Second with questions.
Yep, I have a question after you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on. What's your question? We need to suspend the rules for this.
We don't have any rules. We don't have any order.
Exactly.
So we're gonna suspend the.
No,
rules.
we're not. No.
You made that clear.
No, sir. No, sir.
So we need to take a
No, sir.
majority vote, and when you guys are chair, you can do whatever you like.
And no, sir.
So she has a motion on the floor, but we need to suspend the rules so that you can have your motion carried through. It needs to go on the record. If you want to have this take action, all you got to do is suspend the rules.
Me making a motion.
Making a motion to do what?
You heard the motion I made?
Okay, go ahead. Make the motion again, man. I'm just gonna let you do it. Go ahead. The motion to do what now? Make the packet public?
Yes,
Okay, seconded.
everything except for closed session.
So we have a motion on the floor from Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
To make the packets public. It's seconded by Councilwoman Martin. You had a question? Yes.
Yes. Is that something we can put on the screen, on the TV, so everybody can see?
So let me just now I get to come in and say what I want to say. So I am not tech support. Hold on, stay with me. The question would be, who's going to prepare that? The class I took on Regrid, the class I took on Zoom, the class I took on doing these presentations, that was done someplace else. I'm just bringing my job here.
Okay,
So who's going to prepare the packet and prepare it? Who's going to do it?
Hold on, hold on.
For the summer, the youth.
Question are you talking about?
No,
You
no,
wanna
the
talk
Michigan
about
Works.
Or you
No,
talking
no.
about pro tem?
No, I'm talking about, she made a motion to share that. The question is, who's going to do it?
The summer youth program.
No, they have a job. The question, this is city council. The question is, we made a motion.
Yes,
So
we
we can make a motion to do anything we want.
Mhm.
The question is, who's going to do it?
Can I answer that
It's a
question?
general question.
Okay, so just like everything else is put onto the city website for the public to view, including the minutes, including anything else they want to put on the website. What is the problem with extending that same courtesy to sharing this council packet with the public so they can see it?
I don't have any problem at all with it. You make a great point. The question is, who's going to do it? We are part-time employees. We make $5 an hour. We don't have a staff.
They're already doing this. Nothing to scan those documents through.
No, sir.
Just like they scan
The
everything.
clerk has its own office. The treasurer has its own office. The administration has its own office.
Technology now?
I'm sorry.
Who's in charge of our technology now?
At the moment, I'm your tech guy.
So you're not, it's like,
He just sends me the Zoom. He just sends me the Zoom. If you can see my screen, it says co-host. You could do whatever you like, but the
But that
question
would
is
only
who's
be
going to
one
do it.
packet shared with everybody, right?
So I'm going to ask the question again. If you decide to do this, who is going to do it?
It can't be put on Zoom?
By who?
well, I got a laptop. If you give me access to the system, I do it my damn self.
How? That was my question. So let's take a vote.
If they open it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just get a meeting notice. I get a meeting notice. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Manica.
So we wouldn't probably be able to copy our whole packet and give it out. That's out. That's out the question.
Why?
It would go online like most cities. Most cities put the entire packet online with the exception of the things that cannot go. But
It's not true.
okay, that I'm not going to debate that. All I'm saying is I am not going to debate that. So it depends on how you want it distributed, what you want distributed, how many pages it is. And I'm not saying not to, because I think it should be online, if nothing else. But what I'm saying is all the questions. So it's not that it can't happen, but all the questions that need to be answered is, one, he was right, who's going to do it? Now, no, let me finish my question. Let me finish my statement, please. Now,
we're still in
my
council- we're still in
understanding,
council
some
affairs.
people in
Ms.
some
Robinson.
cities, it's the clerk or whoever's in the clerk's office. I'm not sure for every city though. But here's the second thing is, so first thing is who's going to do it. Second thing is determining what actually goes. The next thing is if you want it distributed paper wise to everybody,
No, that's
who's
a
a,
lot.
I'm not saying you specifically.
You're looking at me.
Okay, I'm
You said
looking at you
online.
because you
Everybody
talking.
here said online.
So, and all I said was that way we cannot do, but online, that would be where we would have to figure it out. If it goes anything else you want it done, it would, we have to look at how you want to distribute it and cost. I'm not saying not to do it or it can't be done. We didn't say specifically in that motion though, that we want it online or just given out.
It used to be done before this administration came into play, and then it just stopped. Because you used to be able to get onto that city website and look at the budget and the agenda with no problem.
When?
All of that shit stopped for some reason.
So look, let's remember, we are in, right now, we have a motion on the floor. We're in council affairs for Madam Pro Tem. Let's get this vote, okay? She has a motion on the floor that make that information available. We have a second for that. Y'all can figure that out. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and take the roll on that.
Councilman Ashafi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica?
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson?
Yes.
Council President Thomas?
Whatever.
That's not a vote. That's not a vote.
All right, anything else, Madam Pro Tem?
You say yes?
I say yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Are we done? Madam Pro Tem?
I'm done.
I'm gonna assume that you're done. Okay. So all the things that were said in this room tonight, burn in hell police officers. Burn in hell police officers. I'm just saying, hold on. I didn't interrupt anybody else. I didn't interrupt anybody else. Of all the things that are said in this room. And so here I've been sitting in this chair for 30 months this year, and I got people that I've never seen before coming into this room, riding me like a bus. Have the audacity to use my family tragedy. You got my wife in that back corner. You got my wife in that back corner. Okay, find something else to play with. Find somebody else to play with. Quickly. Quickly. Of all the things, and you come in here every week to talk to me. 2013, I sat as a planning commissioner. 2015, I went back to Wayne State to get my master's degree. 2017, I was put on the zoning board. Within a week, I was the chairman of the zoning board. In 2018, I graduated with a master's in alternative dispute resolution from Wayne State University on top of my BS in chemistry, minor in biochemistry. Since I've been city council president, okay? I've been the mediation coordinator for Wayne County, the executive director for USDA's first urban farming program. Okay, I'm an award-winning teacher teaching chemistry in the public school system. And you roll up in here every other week and ride me so that you can increase your talking points for your future campaign. My mother and father had a saying, never let an idle person criticize you while you're working. And tonight you saw me sit as a mediator and mediate this meeting. You saw me doing tech support at this meeting, pulling up real estate development platforms, using a map like a tech person would use, and administering this meeting. And yet you come up here every 2 weeks to criticize me. And a week ago, somebody in your cohort leveled a recall petition against me. Isn't that something? 30 months in this chair. What that tells me, I'm the grandson of a pastor. He told me everything I need to know about pastors. What that tells me is everything about you. Everything. I serve this community like somebody who's lived in it for 25 years. And responsibility has been placed upon me, and my parents are alive and watching me. I don't care about what anybody else thinks except my mother and my father. The audacity of idle hands, leveling criticism. Hope you sleep good tonight, all of y'all. Hope you sleep real good tonight. I do, because you're going to be on my mind forever. Now, having concluded all business of the city of Highland Park, the chairman